This really is a matter of life and death. Homelessness in this crisis is a matter of life and death.
The last several months have been intense. They've been frightening, but they've also been inspiring. Felt like this, we were drinking water from a fire hydrant of all this information. And just knowing the nature of our shelter and some of our housing programs, social distancing was impossible. The clearest priority was the safety of the thousands of people that were relying on us for our services and our hundreds of staff members. How do we keep them safe and healthy and alive? We just had to move into action, and that's what we did.
We made sure that folks had supplies. We made sure that they had access to information, having everyone tested. That was key. Also modeling. The staff, wore gloves. They wore masks. The folks on the front line were really managing, I like to say dual crises, so their own personal crises and their own personal fears, but then all the while figuring out, how do I, with my own fear, support and minimize the fear of the families coming in.
When this all went down, I think first and foremost, just me living at home with an 89-year-old woman, my grandmother, who I am responsible for, it was hard for me to even keep my brain in all of this, and then to come in and be responsible for 112 men that were sleeping in 64 bunk beds piled on top of each other. And I have to say, the clients all were they were amazing through this process. You would think that it could just have been chaos, but it was not. The thing that is so powerful was under all of the stress, all of the uncertainty, we were still housing guys, families, men and women, individuals, members of our community, back into permanent, stable, safe housing in the midst of a pandemic. I mean, what more can you say, right?
All of our shelter programs are congregate settings, so we have shared area, shared bathrooms. All of that was a real concern for providing adequate distance to minimize the spread of COVID. We knew that we needed more space. We were able to erect some tents. The tents were very sturdy, but water was rushing through. We had incredible storms, one after another. We had gale force winds. The tents were a quick solution, but long-term not sufficient. And that's when the decision to explore hotels came in.
Once we moved to the hotel, just the sense of relief for a lot of folks. People were just sleeping and just were able to just rest and relax themselves, be able to physically put their baggage down. That's the important piece, is that once people felt safe, being able to social distance from people, that they didn't have that on their mind, so they were able to focus on their housing.
This health crisis has sort of turned into an economic crisis. We don't know the future of, where this virus will be. Is it going to create more people experiencing homelessness that are going to rely on our services? I'd like to believe that this horrendous situation that we've survived up to this point will finally help people not only recognize that housing is health, but also have the courage to actually fund housing properly. The greatest challenge that we had was the unknown. We didn't know if we were going to be able to find safe places for the people in the shelters. These are folks that they're at a point in their lives where they really truly had nothing else, and we're all they have.
It made me realize just how much more difficult it is for somebody who doesn't have a home to be experiencing this same level of crises. And I really hope it's the start of really moving more towards a universal sense of collaboration to support Rhode Island and the most vulnerable in Rhode Island.